Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is your shortcut to making sense of the important stuff happening each week.
Yep, no need to wade through everything yourself.
Exactly. We've gone through a ton of AI news, articles, research blogs, company updates, basically everything from April 21st to the 25th, 2025.
And we're pulling out what really matters.
Right. So the mission for this deep dive is to connect the dots. We want to spot the key AI trends and, more importantly, explain what they actually mean for you, in your business life.
There were definitely some aha moments in the sources this week.
For sure. Some surprising stuff about how AI is popping up in different sectors. So let's get into it.
Okay, theme one seems to be this, incredible speed and just how much more AI can do.
Yeah, it feels like it's really accelerating.
It is, and one thing that really stands out is this growing feeling, almost a conviction, about AGI, artificial general intelligence.
Okay.
You've got Demis Hassabis, the CEO of Google DeepMind, talking about it potentially being here within the next decade.
Right.
That's soon.
It really makes you sit up and listen, doesn't it?
Mm.
And you see projects like DeepMind's Astra,
Right.
which can apparently see, hear, and actually talk back. It feels like real movement towards AI that interacts more like us.
Absolutely. Astra is pretty amazing, showing how AI can perceive and kind of engage with the world. But, we have to remember the current limitations.
Right.
Even the really advanced stuff, it's still mostly processing information we give it. It doesn't really have, independent imagination or that self-awareness humans have. Not yet, anyway.
Right. Processing versus truly creating new ideas from scratch.
Right.
But it's not just what they do, it's how they learn that's changing too, isn't it?
Exactly. That's a huge piece of this. Researchers at DeepMind, like David Silver and Richard Sutton, they're pushing for this shift towards experiential learning.
Experiential. What does that mean exactly?
Well, instead of just feeding AI tons of data labeled by humans, the idea is for the AI to learn more through its own trial and error, like interacting with its environment, getting feedback.
Ah, okay. So like learning by doing rather than just reading the manual.
Precisely. Think about learning to ride a bike. You don't just read about it, you try, you fall, you adjust. That's the kind of learning they're aiming for.
So potentially, AI could stumble onto discoveries humans haven't even thought of, just by exploring.
That's the hope, yeah. The potential for genuinely novel insights that go beyond our current knowledge base. It's pretty significant if they can pull it off.
Okay, so big picture, AGI potential, new ways of learning.
Yeah.
But it's also happening at a more focused level, right? Specialized AI.
Oh, absolutely. That's maybe where we see the most immediate impact. We're seeing these AI models getting incredibly good at very specific tasks.
Like what?
Well, take Google's cell-to-sentence scale. It uses language processing, like ChatGPT, but on cellular data.
For biology.
Exactly. Imagine asking complex questions about cells and getting plain English answers. The potential for, say, drug discovery is enormous. It could speed things up dramatically.
Wow. Okay, that's a specific, powerful application. And it's not just the giants like Google, is it?
No, not at all. Look at Nari Labs. Just 2 developers, apparently. They built Dia, an open-source text-to-speech model.
Text-to-speech, like reading text aloud.
Yeah, but this one reportedly beats commercial options. It can do emotional tones, multiple speakers, and it's open source.
That's impressive. Shows how accessible this tech is becoming.
Definitely. And then you have Character AI's Avatar FX. It creates realistic animated characters talking with a synced audio.
Okay, I can see that being useful.
For sure. Think marketing, training videos, maybe even entertainment. Easy, high-quality animated content. It's a powerful tool.
And in healthcare again, there's DXGPT, backed by Microsoft.
Right. An AI diagnostic tool. It's showing really high accuracy, not just for common stuff, but for rare diseases, too.
Getting diagnoses right faster. That's huge for patients.
It really is. It could genuinely improve patient outcomes, especially for those conditions that are tricky to identify.
And it even goes beyond diagnosis. I saw something about AI troubleshooting lab equipment.
Yeah, that study from the Center for AI Safety in MIT's Media Lab, they found AI models actually did better than human experts at figuring out problems in the lab.
Better than the experts. Wow.
It really shows how AI can be this incredible assistant, for complex problem solving in science and tech, streamlining things, cutting down errors.
Makes sense. And there was also that MIT framework, ICON, for organizing machine learning.
Right. Improving image classification. It sounds maybe a bit niche, but better image recognition helps in so many areas, anything that uses computer vision.
So it's about big leaps and refining what's already there, making it work better and making it more available. Okay, let's shift gears. Where is all this tech actually showing up in the real world, in businesses?
Okay, yeah. This is where it gets really practical for everyone listening. AI isn't some future thing anymore. It's here now.
The adoption rates are pretty high, right?
Very high. That stat, 78% of US and Canadian middle market companies are using AI in some way. That's not trivial. That's a major shift.
78%.
Yeah.
And they're using it all over the place.
Absolutely. Across the C-suite, you've got chief data officers using it for data strategy, CFOs for better financial predictions, CEOs looking for competitive edges.
So it's not just one department's tool.
Not at all. It's versatile. Think chief procurement officers optimizing supply chains, HR streamlining hiring, COOs boosting operations, CIOs managing tech infrastructure, even chief risk officers using it for compliance.
Okay, so pretty much every corner of the business. But it can't be all smooth sailing. There must be challenges.
Oh, definitely. Integrating AI with older systems, that's a big one. And data privacy, of course, is always a major concern companies need to handle carefully.
Right, makes sense. And it's not just companies. Governments are getting in on this too,
Yeah, the UAE example is fascinating, using AI to help draft legislation.
with something called the regulatory intelligence ecosystem.
Right. They're aiming to cut the time it takes to develop new laws by like 70%. They've even set up a specific office for it with a big database of laws and court cases. It could really change how governance works, make it more data-driven, maybe more efficient.
Interesting. But as this stuff gets integrated, we also see, well, potential pitfalls. Like that Cursor AI incident.
Oh, yeah, the support bot that just made up policy.
Exactly. And customers were, understandably, not happy.
That's a huge cautionary tale. It just hammers home how vital trust and accuracy are.
Yeah.
If your AI gives bad info, that's a big problem.
People need to know if they're talking to an AI, and the info has to be right.
Absolutely critical. Businesses need to ensure their AI is reliable, not just efficient.
Speaking of interactions in media, content creation is another area seeing massive change. Histogram, using AI for age verification.
Yeah, and that directly impacts who sees what content, how advertisers target audiences. AI is becoming a gatekeeper there.
And also a creator, or at least a partner,
Right.
the Washington Post working with OpenAI.
Right. Integrating their journalism into ChatGPT, that can really change how people find and consume news. It's a major convergence.
Even Hollywood is grappling with this.
Yeah.
The Oscars saying AI-enhanced films are okay.
But emphasizing the human creative core.
Yeah. It's like they're trying to find that balance, right?
Yeah.
Use the tool, but value the artist.
It's a tricky line to walk, and then you see that flood of AI-generated political books on Amazon.
Oh yeah, that raises all sorts of questions.
Definitely. Authorship, is it accurate? What's the agenda? It makes you really question sources when content can be generated so easily.
We all need to be more critical consumers of information, for
Yeah.
sure. On the tools side, though, Adobe's Firefly keeps adding features.
Yeah, better image models, now text to video, vector graphics, these Firefly boards, plus big partnerships.
And OpenAI released their image generation API, so others can build it into their tools.
Exactly. Like Adobe and Canva are integrating it. It's making these powerful creative tools much more accessible to everyone.
It really feels like it's touching everything. Perplexity has a new voice assistant.
For iOS, yeah. And Google DeepMind upgraded their music AI sandbox Lyria too, more interactive features for making music.
Music, writing, visuals. What else? Healthcare again.
Yep. Superpower got funding for their platform. It analyzes biomarkers using AI. The goal is more personalized wellness advice.
Okay. And the hardware side, is it still all NVIDIA?
Well, competition's heating up. Huawei launched new AI chips specifically to compete with NVIDIA.
More competition is probably good, right?
Generally, yeah. Could mean more options, maybe better prices down the line.
Mhm.
And one last point on integration, Google paying Samsung to preload Gemini AI.
Ah, the distribution play. Getting it onto devices people already use.
Exactly. It shows how important just getting the AI out there and into users' hands is becoming. It's a real race.
It really is. Okay, so with AI becoming so widespread, this brings us to our next theme. The human side, the ethics, and just what's next.
Right. And maybe the most fundamental thing is AI literacy, just understanding this stuff.
Feels like it's becoming essential, doesn't it? Like knowing how to use a computer became essential years ago.
I think that's a great comparison. Basic AI, understanding what it can do, how to use the tools effectively, it's fast becoming a core skill needed for many jobs.
So businesses probably need to think about training.
Absolutely. Mandatory training even. And not just theory, but practical ways people can actually use AI in their day-to-day work. Companies that do that will likely see real benefits.
That makes sense. But there are also some deeper questions emerging, right? Like AI consciousness.
Yeah, Anthropic is actually researching this. They have someone, Kyle Fish, looking into model welfare and whether AI could deserve moral consideration.
Seriously, model welfare.
It sounds sci-fi, I know, and most experts are skeptical about current AI being conscious. But people are starting to treat AI like it's sentient, forming bonds with chatbots.
So even if it's not conscious, the way we interact with it raises ethical questions.
Exactly. And figuring out if an AI is conscious, well, that's a whole other incredibly difficult challenge.
Okay, so big philosophical questions there. And also more immediate organizational ones, like the concerns at OpenAI.
Right. That open letter from former staff about the shift to a for-profit structure.
What was their main worry?
Concerns about oversight, basically. Whether the focus might shift too much towards profit instead of ensuring AI benefits everyone safely. It highlights that tension between commercial goals and public good, especially with powerful AI like AGI potentially on the horizon.
A valid concern. But on the flip side, Microsoft's research suggests companies using AI are doing well.
Yeah, their findings indicate that companies actively adopting AI are seeing strong performance.
So it pays off.
The data suggests so. The research also mentioned how tough productivity is for workers today. Constant pings, information overload.
Tell me about it.
Right. And Microsoft's new Copilot agents are designed to help with that, like having an AI assistant for research or analyzing data, aiming to take some load off.
So using AI to fight the productivity drain, it seems like adopting AI isn't just optional anymore if you want to stay competitive.
It really looks that way. The evidence points towards proactive adoption being a driver of success right now.
Okay, let's try to wrap this up. Summing up this week's deep dive, what are the big takeaways?
Well, first, the pace is just relentless. AI capabilities are advancing super fast, AGI is being seriously discussed, and specialized AI is making real inroads everywhere.
Yeah, and second, it's not just lab experiments. This stuff is being integrated across industries in tons of different business roles. Real practical uses are emerging constantly.
Which leads to the third point. AI literacy is becoming crucial for professionals. You need to understand this.
Absolutely. Staying informed isn't just interesting, it's necessary for making smart business moves in this environment.
Couldn't agree more. Understanding these trends is key to navigating what's coming.
And if you want to keep up, seriously, subscribe to the RAIZOR Report newsletter. Just go to razor.co.
That's RAZOR.co.
Yep, you get links to all the articles we talked about here, plus ongoing insights. It's a great way to stay plugged in.
So maybe a final thought to leave you with. Looking at all these developments, which specific AI changes do you think will reshape your industry the most in the next year or so? And maybe more importantly, what steps can you start taking now to get ready?